All right, so the GitHub MCP server just got a huge upgrade. And let me tell you, it's all about making our lives as developers way, way easier. We're talking smarter tools, a leaner setup, and honestly, just a lot less friction in your day-to-day workflow. Let's dive in. So does this look familiar? I bet it does. If you're a developer, you've totally been there. You're trying to get work done, but your tools are just so bloated that they're eating up your entire context window. That's the precious, limited space your language model has to actually understand what you're asking it to do. It just slows everything down, makes simple things complicated, and, well, it kills your flow. These new MCC server updates, they're here to fix that. First up, let's talk about GitHub Projects. Now, the old toolset was powerful, sure, but man, it was a token hog. It came at a really high cost to your token budget, which is basically the currency you're spending every time you process information. So this first big update goes right after that inefficiency. And the thinking behind this is, well, it's pretty brilliant in its simplicity. Instead of this cluttered toolbox with a bunch of different things, we're getting one single, consolidated projects toolset that just does everything. It's all about simplifying the interface to really amplify your power. So what does this actually mean in practice? Well, let's talk numbers. This one move slashes token usage by 23,000 tokens. That's a 50% saving, just like that. It instantly frees up your context window for the work that you actually care about. This new unified toolset has you covered for everything. Listing your projects, grabbing the details, and of course, writing changes. But my favorite part? The real cherry on top, it automatically figures out if a project is owned by a person or an organization. That just gets rid of a small but super annoying point of friction. Okay, so the server is getting leaner, for sure, but it's also getting a whole lot smarter. This next big update is all about personalizing your tool set, so you only see the tools that you can actually use. Isn't this the worst? You see a tool, you get an idea, you try to use it, and bam, permission error. It's so frustrating, and it happens because the server was just showing you every tool available, whether your access token could use it or not. Well, the solution is just super elegant. It's called OAuth scope filtering. Think of it like a smart bouncer at a club. It checks your credentials at the door and only shows you the things you're actually allowed to access. The result? No more clutter and no more frustrating permission errors. And here's how it works. It's a simple three-step dance that happens the moment the server starts up. It detects your personal access token, it makes a quick call to discover its permissions, and then it just tidies up your whole interface by hiding anything you can't use. It's proactive error prevention, which is just awesome. Okay, so this isn't a one-size-fits-all thing. The server is smart enough to change its behavior based on how you're authenticating. If you're using a classic PAT, it filters the tools up front for a nice, clean UI. But with the newer, fine-grained PATs, it shows you everything, because the API itself is smart enough to enforce the permissions. And if you're using OAuth on a remote server, it's all dynamic. The system just adapts to your security model. All right, let's switch gears and talk about everyone's favorite AI coding buddy, Copilot. These new updates are all about giving you more direct control, more visibility. Basically, they're handing you the steering wheel. And we're not just talking about small tweaks here. These are some seriously awesome new superpowers. You can now track a job status in real time. You can kick off work from any feature branch, which is a total game changer for creating stacked PRs. You get an immediate tracking link right away. You can even give Copilot custom instructions when you assign it to an issue. It all just adds up to way more control over your AI partner. Okay, now for all of you working in bigger teams, you're going to want to listen up. This next update is a huge deal. It's about making the MCP server a real enterprise solution that can actually scale with your whole organization. Seriously, let's just be honest for a second. Trying to manage personal access tokens for every single person on a team, it's a nightmare, right? It's clunky, it's a pain to administrate, and it's a security headache just waiting to happen. Well, this update is designed to get rid of that problem completely. So what's the fix? Say hello to the new HTTP server mode. This lets you run one single shared MCP server for your entire team. It handles authentication on a per-request basis using OAuth tokens, which just centralizes access and makes life so much easier for everyone. All right, last but definitely not least, we've got something for the adventurers out there. You know who you are. The ones who love to play with the latest and greatest stuff, but, still need a stable environment to get your actual work done. Let me introduce you to Insiders Mode. Think of it as your own special opt-in setting that gives you a personal playground to try out experimental features and preview new stuff before anybody else gets it. And here's the key, it's totally safe. It's like having a sandbox. You can flip on insider's mode, play around with all the new toys, and then instantly switch right back to the stable server whenever you want. You get all the fun of experimenting with none of the risk. So when you kind of zoom out and look at everything we've talked about, a really clear picture starts to form, right? This isn't just a random list of new features. It's a really focused effort to build a server that is smarter, more personal, and way more adaptive to you and how you work. And all of this kind of brings us to a really interesting question for you. Our dev environments are becoming real partners in what we do. So as these tools get smarter and smarter, what should we be asking them to do next? What's the one challenge in your workflow that you wish an intelligent tool could just solve for you? It's a pretty exciting future to think about. Thanks for tuning in.